Howdy! How's everybody out there in YouTube land? I hope this finds you well. Lord have mercy, we're just a few days off from the big reveal of spring. And I hope it's better than what today was here, because today we had 45-mile-an-hour winds and rain and 39 degree for a high with a wind chill of like 25. And oh, Lord have mercy. It's just been a nasty day here. Has it been any better over there at your house, Matt?
Nothing but rain here. Gloomy and cold and rainy all day.
Well, hopefully it's going to start warming up soon. My daffodils are trying to bloom. I've got my tulips out there. The squirrels ain't found them yet, but it's only a matter of time. They get them every year. You know, just as they start to bloom, here comes the squirrels and mow the tops right off of them. And then all you got the green sticks sticking up out of the ground. And so I think we're probably just going to mow them over this year and say the end of the tulips. But they leave daffodils alone. I wish whatever's in the daffodils was in the tulips. And
I'm good at growing tulips in the Animal Crossing video game.
Yeah.
Does that count for anything?
Well, I don't know nothing about them games, so I can't tell you. But speaking of games, another one of my Facebook friends, and I'm kind of using that term lightly, has decided to pull me into the Word Blitz thing.
Oh, no.
So that they can whip my ass on a, semi-hourly basis. So, So now we got two of them after. Well, Mel hadn't done it for a while, so I don't know. Let's see who we got out there in the chat. Speaking of Mel, he should be showing up here soon. We got Jim Bashir's out there. We got Steve with Harneal Media. I think I pronounced it right tonight. We got Jimbo out there, James Parker. And let's see. I think, if my eyes are not deceiving me, I think that's all we got out there so far. Everybody share this. Share. And did I mention share?
Share it wide.
Yeah, to everybody. We'll have a drawing after a while if we can get some folks in the room. And be sure you hit that like button. Hit it hard. If you don't like it, hit it twice. Oh,
Jimbo says it's 80 in Florida today, and he also says sorry.
Well, it's got to be 80 somewhere, I guess. So Florida's as good a place as any. That's almost getting a little too hot for me. I like it around 70, 75 degrees.
72 is perfect.
It could even rain if it got up in that thing, and I wouldn't care, But 70, 75 degrees, right in that ballpark. That's yeah. Perfect temperatures right there.
Yep. Nice warm day with the rain. Evan was playing soccer when he was little, and it started to rain. They just kept playing. There's no thunder. It's not cold. It's a summer day. And it wasn't like a downpour. They're like, we're not stopping.
I remember as a girl out on the farm, you didn't let the rain stop you unless it was thunder and lightning. You didn't want to be out in the thunder and lightning. But if you was outside doing something, working in the garden or, mowing the yard, now, if it was raining too hard, you couldn't mow the yard. It wasn't good for the lawnmower. But, if it was just raining a little bit, you went ahead and you got your work done. Many was the time that we mudded in the garden because it would start raining right when it's time to start planting the garden. And you couldn't just wait until the rain dried up. It might be July. And so you had to get out there and get that garden in the ground. And you'd be out there mudding her in.
Is that the correct phrase?
That's what we called it, mutter in. And you'd come up to the house with more mud on you than was left in the garden. But, you don't let the weather slow you down. You just keep going unless it just gets too inclement. And then, you might have to put her off for an hour or two and let things calm down. But, yeah.
Good deal. Jimbo's dropping likes in the chat. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, I told... Beanie over here that he was going to have to watch the chat for me tonight. My eyes are still a mess. I'm going back to the eye doctor again tomorrow, and my vision will blur when I'm trying to read. And
it's temporary.
Yeah, it's temporary. It'll go away, but you'll be like seeing two lines, one over top of the other. It kind of get blurry, and I get floaters. or floaties, whatever you want to call them, in the sides of my eyes. And yeah, my eyes are screwed up. So I'm going to have to go back tomorrow and say what other medication he's got to put me on, what fresh hell he's got for me tomorrow. But
my goodness.
Good golly, I'll be glad when whatever this is goes away.
I'm visiting all the specialists. I don't know what it is. These last couple of weeks, I'm getting everything done, getting the eyes tested, the ears tested. I got my physical. I got some cholesterol stuff happening. All of these specialists, I've got all lined up.
They're checking you for diabetes too. You getting a screening?
I don't have diabetes. I do have high cholesterol, which they're worried.
Well, how do you know you don't have diabetes? Have you been screened?
I had the whole blood panel done. Yeah.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have diabetes.
Well, doctor didn't say I had it, so I'm going to say I don't.
Well, that's because you didn't get screened for it.
Okay. Niantic River Woodcrafting with Chris Nealon is here. He says, evening. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris, good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Invite all your friends. Share this out. Hit the like button. You know the drill, how we do things around here. Probably better than we do.
Brenda and I just turned the camera on and go. You should have heard the conversation we had before the camera came on. Oh, boy. We're not repeating that one. And,
we're liable to talk about anything here. We had a good conversation last night. He's over there on the Verbose channel. And,
that's right. You did pop in. It was good to see you over there on Verbose Wednesdays on the Sha-La-La-La Productions.
Yeah. I saw he didn't have too many people in the chat, and I thought, well, they probably appreciate somebody else dropping in, even if it is me. So I went over there, and Matt was over there telling people that they needed to follow him. And I said, I always love to follow Matt. He's got that little wiggle in his giddy up.
It's like you were channeling Jim Bashir's in the chat.
I don't know if it's a wiggle or a sachet. Is it a wiggle or is it a sachet? Maybe sachet.
Oh, yeah. We don't have a lot of we don't have a big audience over there, and it's tough. We're trying to increase the audience, but they're just not finding their way over. We're not quite.
Well, it needs more cowbell.
Well, Dave, I should have thought of that already. Why didn't I think of that?
That's a problem. It needs more cowbell.
There's an absence of cowbell. Yes.
Speaking of cowbell, there'll be a new Heifer Haven go up later tonight or early in the morning, whenever I get my act together and get it up there. Sometimes it's after midnight by the time I get around to putting it up. But yeah, there will be a Heifer Haven going up.
Nice.
Has to do with Easter.
Hey, Love Audio Production is here. Hi, Mr. Paul Weber.
Paul Weber, is that the one you was talking about last night over on Verbose? I
think I talked about Paul Weber. Yeah, he's got a cool audio channel.
He's famous. He's one of them famous YouTubers.
He's got his act together, that's for sure. Yeah.
Good to have you with us. Welcome.
He's over in the UK, the United Kingdom, in England.
Glad to have you with us, and you get to see whatever goofy things we do here. Lord have mercy. We haven't even figured it out, and we've been doing this over 2 years.
Technically, we asked the audience to put true but interesting facts in the chat room. Brenda and I will riff off them, and if it blows our mind, we'll give you free virtual tacos and cowbell rings. So
yeah, I didn't look up any facts for tonight.
That's okay.
I can't see. I'm feeling around the house as I go around, like a blind person. I'm going to have to give me a white cane pretty soon. My dogs just stay the hell out of my way. They're like, oh my God, here she comes. Run for your life.
They know better. Paul Weber from Love Audio Production says, haha, I don't know about that, but thanks anyway, Brenda.
Hey, I'm trying to make you famous.
Paul, did I tell you? I think I did tell you on chat, but I bought that keyboard. I bought a new keyboard. Now it's
a new keyboard.
I bought a new keyboard. It'll take a month to get here. It's a small 2-octave little piece of plastic. It looks like a toy for a 6-year-old, but this thing is every bit a professional piece of equipment. The keys light up. It's got all these wacky features, and it's for it's for music production, and it's crazy. I can't wait to get it.
I love it when my keys light up.
Yeah, it's nuts. It is a crazy piece of equipment. I guess the Kickstarter, they just filled all their Kickstarters, and now they're bringing it to market. And I'm going to get the first one, one of the first retail versions of it.
Well, he says that he's kind of famous. See, he's
35 years in the UK radio.
I'm famous up at the Walmart, and I go up to Walmart. I got to wear a disguise, or they ask me for my autograph, chase me around the store, because they know I'm one of these famous YouTubers. Now,
Jimbo didn't put an interesting fact in the chat, but he did pose a question, which is a little different than our format here on Mind Equals Blown. But he says, if Meatloaf would do anything for love, what would he not do?
He won't do that.
That.
Ain't that how that song goes? I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that.
Anything for love, but I won't do that.
Well, now, yesterday was St. Patty's Day, the wearing of the green and the, all that hoopla. Mm-hmm. Did you fix the traditional Irish dinner?
We did not. But I did have my green lights on, as you saw on the show.
Okay. Because here it was the corned beef with the cabbage and the rutabaga and the onions and the carrots. And I'm going to have to freeze a lot of that, because I made the big, heavy dinner deal. And I'm just not used to eating that kind of meal. So I'll be freezing up portions, divvying it out over the next year.
Yeah.
But it was good. I'll say that.
Well, the Haases are on a diet, so it's hard to cook what you want when you want it.
Now there wasn't anything in that you couldn't have on your keto.
That's true.
You can have the meat.
Mm-hmm.
That's the corned beef. You can have cabbage. You can have carrots. You can have rutabagas. You can have onions. See, everything in that. You just couldn't have like rolls and cornbread and a bunch of carbs and stuff with it.
Dave Hart's here. He says he had the Irish dinner of McDonald's. Did you get the Shamrock Shake? See, that's what I want to know. And then Love Audio Production says they have to ask for your ID, Brenda, because the fact that you look so young, says Paul.
Oh, is that it? Lord have mercy. You see me move, you wouldn't think I was that young. I move like I'm 110 and shuffling along. And I move a little bit better than I was, though, since I've lost some weight.
You might be walking slow, but the pace that you're kicking butt is like teenage level.
Oh, well, yeah. Make no mistake about it. If I need to kick somebody's rear end, nothing's going to stop me. I got a care package from my adopted daughter, Jay Grady, yesterday, and she sent me a great big box full of all kinds of stuff. And in the box, there's another little box, and inside that box, there's stuff inside the box, and inside the box is a whole bunch of rocks, all different kinds of rocks. She tumbles these rocks and makes them all shiny, and she got these things from all over the world. And I was oohing and on about the pretty rocks and stuff that she sent me, and I said, I love rocks. I collect rocks, and I keep them in little pouches, and I'll put several pouches inside my purse. And that way, if I'm out someplace and I have to wing my pocketbook at somebody, they're going to know that they've been winged at.
You purposely make your pocketbook heavier.
It's like having a box of bricks in there, by George. Somebody misses them. I wing them with that pocketbook, it's going to knock them out.
What's the acronym WTG? What the...
Way to go.
A way to go, Dave. Okay, that's right. I'm reading Jim Bashir's comment.
We're going to have to get you educated on the acronyms.
Some of them I know, and some common ones I don't know. It's just I'm all over the place.
My favorite one is KMA.
Kill me.
No.
What's that?
Well, it starts out with kiss.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Fubar. I know Fubar. Effed up beyond all recognition. Yeah. That one.
Yeah. I went to cooking on that meal yesterday. Put it in the slow cooker. Put the meat in the slow cooker, and then the others, all vegetables. I about an hour before the meat was done. Then I cooked the vegetables up in the pot on the stove, and boy, the house still smells like heaven. I thought, man, I won't need to eat probably for about a month because I just keep smelling, that corned beef and all the vegetables.
Good deal. Good deal.
That fills you up.
I like that. Now look at the way Jimbo wrote, just in my A44. That's leet speak when you do fours for different, put some numbers in for different letters. That's the standard. Yeah, I like that. Oh, they're talking about Girl Scout cookies. Someone received Thin Mints from a coworker.
No Girl Scout cookies for this girl. They got sugar in them. Do they make any sugar-free cookies?
Yes, I have little chocolate chip cookies from, there's a company called High Point or something like that. They make all kinds of vegetable or plant-based products that they're supposed to taste like other products. And they're good, but they have sort of like a waxy aftertaste. See, the thing I'm learning is any food product that tries to mimic another food product, like a plant-based product that's supposed to, it's usually not good.
Yeah.
Like the bread, they try to make bread to mimic bread, but not use flour, use other things. Not good.
Yeah.
And just ice cream. You have ice cream too, which is okay. Chocolate. I mean, some of it's without the sugar in it. It's just.
Yeah, I was just wondering if the Girl Scout cookies made, any cookies that didn't have sugar in them.
Well, it's more of the carbs. I'm cutting carbs. So.
Well, see, I'll do carbs, but I won't do sugar.
Okay.
Eventually, I may have to cut out some carbs. I'm not like overdoing it. Let's go on a whole meal that's just full of carbs kind of thing. But, if I want a piece of bread with my meal, I'll have a piece of bread or a piece of cornbread or something. I don't go crazy with it, but I'm just trying to eat healthier.
That's good. Hey, we got Wild Side Vlogs in the house, and so do we also have Skywatcher footage. Welcome. Wild Style
Vlogs. Is that my buddy out there? Wild Style. What's her name? Terry. Now, Skywatcher. Bless your heart, you didn't give me your address. I couldn't send you your package. I put my email address in for you last week so that you could send me your address, and I did not get your address. So I've still got it here. If you want it, you'll have to send me an address so that I can mail it out. I may be a little psychic, but I'm not that psychic.
That's Skywalker footage, right? That's the one who, okay.
Yeah. So you have to get me your mailing address. I was hoping you'd show up.
JD Knight's here. Hi, JD.
Hey, JD. Bless your heart. Thank you for coming.
Brenda and I are just talking about this and talking about that. If you have any interesting true facts, put them in the chat and we'll riff off them and reward you with virtual tacos and cowbell rings. What could be better?
Get me a true fact about the St. Patrick's Day. Something I don't know. Being of Irish descent.
Leprechauns were inspired by aliens with the pointy ears.
I'm going to catch that little booger one of these days. You wait and see.
I saw a picture of a pointy-eared alien.
Yeah?
Looks just like a person, except they have pointy ears.
No.
You'd never know. You'd never know that they weren't a person.
That was Spock.
It's one on the internet.
Spock had pointy ears.
This was like a legit. It wasn't a human. It was.
Are you saying that Spock was just human?
He was a human actor playing an alien. Like there's a photo on the internet of a real alien with pointy ears. And that's
You're going to get struck by lightning.
Why do you say that?
Because you said that Spock was just an actor.
Yes. Well, he was. He's not with us anymore.
Well, he was a Vulcan.
That's right. 99% of microbes in your body are completely unknown to science. 99%? That can't be true, Jim Shears.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, that's why I don't go to doctors much, because they just guess at what's wrong with you and say, here, take this pill. This might help. If it don't, come on back and I'll do something else to you. So that's what's going on with this eye doctor. He don't know what the hell he's doing. He just keeps throwing these eye drop things at me, and they ain't helping. They help for 5 minutes, and then it's right back to the way it was. They don't know what they're doing.
Oh, see,
half human and half Vulcan, Dave Hart says.
Dave's setting everyone straight. That's right. His mother was human and his father was Vulcan. Microbe. What is a microbe? 99% of microbes.
Jim Bashir says, in fact, a new Stanford survey of the foreign DNA fragments circulating in the human body has found that 99% of the microbes inside us are completely unknown to science.
See, that's the thing about living things, is we're made up of lots of other living things.
Well, I mean, when you stop and think about it, think back 100 years to what medicine was.
Yeah, it was crushed up leaves and things.
And, they was just guessing at what they's doing, and that's what they're still doing today. And they make it try to look kind of fancy, but they're just guessing. And in another 100 years, what they're doing now is going to look archaic. Let's say, oh, how could they do those things they's doing? And yeah.
Oh, I used to put leeches on you. Oh, you're sick? Well, you need to get rid of some of that blood. Put some leeches on you. Then they figured out if you wash your hands, patients don't die as much before you go ahead into surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Used to, wipe their nose and touch all dirty, soiled surgical gowns and then put their hands right in people.
And now they take you into a room. It's like a freezer.
Yeah.
And freeze you clear to death. It wasn't the last operation I had. It was the one before, when they brought me out into the recovery room and woke me up. I was so cold, I went into shock.
Oh my gosh.
And they had to
heat on in there.
They had to hit me with a shot of Demerol and grab a blanket out of the microwave to get my body temperature back up, because they damn near froze me to death in that operating room.
Jimbo says some of the medicine is so expensive to buy. Yeah, get me started. Brenda, how can I contact you, says Skywalker Footage. Send her an email. I'll put her email in the chat again for you, Skywalker Footage. There we go. brenda.gibson@gmail.com is how to send your mailing address, or whatever mailing address you want the prize shipped to. Send it to that. brenda.gibson@gmail.com. Send it
to that email address and I will get it, and I will package this up and take it to the post office. Probably tomorrow, since I got to go to the eye doctor tomorrow. I'll probably run up to the post office tomorrow.
You're welcome. Skywalker says thank you. Wild Siled Vlog says, when I had a tumor cut out, came out frozen after. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just don't care. They're like, they're unconscious. Why do we got to keep them warm? They're not going to complain.
Well, I asked the doctor about that. I said, what in the hell are you trying to do, putting me in that freezing chamber to operate on me? He says, well, we have to keep it cold in there. Something about keeping the germs under control or something. And I said, well, it's like the cure is worse than the disease. You're going to freeze people to death, turn them into popsicles in there. And he just laughed and walked away, like they're going to pay any attention to what I've got to say. But Jesus Christ, damn near froze me. I mean, it's bad when you go into shock, shaking uncontrollably, and they have to give you a shot of Demerol to bring you out of it.
We should make an announcement, Brenda, that the Mind Equals Blown show has a new soundbite that will accompany all super chats, and super chats help fund the shipping of all the free giveaways.
That's right.
So I'll demo the sound now. I'm only going to do it once. And if you want to hear the sound another time, it's going to require a super chat. But here's the sound in 3, 2.
Cha-ching.
See that? See that? And we'll also get the lights here going for super chats as well.
Yeah.
Again,
and we may dance, we may ring bells. Who knows what all we're liable to do?
Hey, it'll go nuts, Brenda.
I mean, the bigger the super chat, the wilder we're liable to get.
Brenda's on a fixed income, and the super chat money helps with the giveaways. So
yeah, I love to give this stuff away. It's donated or things that I've made or whatever, to the channel. And I love to do the giveaways, but I can't afford the shipping. I need folks to chip in a little bit on this shipping to get the stuff out. So.
Wild Style Vlog says about the cold after surgery. They are the undertakers getting you ready for your own funeral. Oh, that's not funny. Hashtag funny. Hashtag not funny.
Yeah, that's about the size of it.
Yeah.
Jim Dockrell's here. Sorry I'm late. Dog needed a walk. The dog can't walk by itself. Dog has no legs. You take it for a drag.
Oh, glad you're here, Jim.
Did you take me up on what I said last Saturday night? And have the set it up all up there at your house for the midget jello wrestling and the baptism of poo this weekend. So that you can make all your money back, pay for your house.
Midget jello wrestling. Do you know I saw midget wrestling once? It came to the ballpark, and it was after the ball game. You went in the back behind the grandstand, and they had the thing set up. And I was courtside, like I was on the ropes watching this thing. And these two midget, but they call it midget. I'm like, should I even call it? Is that socially acceptable? But that's what it was billed as. Billed as midget wrestling. They had t-shirts for sale. They beat the snot out of each other. Took his head, slammed it into a metal trash can, picked him up, body slammed out.
Well, now when I was
the craziest thing I have ever seen.
When I was a little girl, on Saturday afternoon, I'd be at my grandpa's house, sitting on his lap, watching the big time wrestling, and right after big time wrestling came the midget wrestling. Mm-hmm. And right after midget wrestling came the midget bowling, where they would actually roll a midget down the bowling alley.
That's crazy.
I couldn't have been. Well, he passed away when I was 6, so it was probably from the time I was 4 and 5. And you sit on his lap every Saturday afternoon, me and him watch all that stuff go on the TV, and he'd have his red man in his overalls. He wore those bib overalls, and he had his red man up there in the front pocket, and he'd put a pinch of it in his jaw, and then I'd go to begging for some of it. And so he'd give me just a little, little teeny tiny piece. And he'd say, now, when you got to spit down here in this lard can. He had a lard can sitting alongside his chair. And my granny used to give him all kinds of dickens about giving me that red man tobacco. But,
Wild Style Vlog says, I am a midget, and I need a ladder just for the dishes, says Wild Style Vlogs. Anyway, that was a fun show. That was a fun show.
Well, Jim Dockrell says that his phone and his email is going nuts. Why? They calling you wanting tickets for the midget wrestling and the baptismal pool.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get the word out for you. I'm helping every way I know how.
Jello wrestling at Jim Dockrell's new place up in Canada. His palatial estate.
Yeah. He's got all that money wrapped up now in all the work that he's doing on that house. And he says, now it's time, it's got to start paying off. I said, well, if you want it to pay off, that's what you got to do. Get the midget wrestling and the Jello pool and the baptismal pool thing going, and you be rolling in dough in no time. They will come from miles around to see that.
Wild Style Vlog says, my kids are taller and call me baby, LOL. Oh, come on now. Everyone's fine at any height. We love you all.
Well, now, Matt, did you put a like on this video?
I certainly did.
All right. Well, then I guess you're going to get one of these.
That was easy.
You don't always get one of those.
Nope. Jimbo's got to go. He has he's got stuff to. Thanks for stopping by, Jimbo. Drop a like on your way out, please.
Thanks for coming. Good to see you. Don't get too hot down there in Florida.
We got 10 watching, and we're halfway through the show. We should probably.
Well, I guess then maybe we need to think about doing a giveaway, shouldn't we?
We can do a giveaway if you want. Sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, before we do the giveaway, why don't you tell them about what we got on this channel that's special compared to what other people have going on their channels for the live streams with the spreadsheet.
Oh, sure. So let me see if I can remember that. It's exclamation mark sign up. I'm putting something in the chat. Hold on.
I blindsided him with this one.
There we go. Hopefully the Stream Elements bot is running. So Brenda has a spreadsheet that collects your YouTube channel information. Then viewers of the show can load up that spreadsheet and see all of the fans of Mind Equals Blown, and they can visit their channels. If they like their channels, they can hit this button. So it's an easy way for you to find other channels that you might be interested in, because YouTube took away the instantly go to person's channel in the chat. If you scrolled over a comment in the chat, there's a triple dot menu that comes up with some miscellaneous options. One of those options used to be go to channel. It's gone now. We don't know why it's gone. So this is to help with that. Now, the link I put is a Google form. Once you fill out the Google form, it'll go into the spreadsheet. So let me put the spreadsheet link. Spreadsheets read only, but you can click it and go there. So I'll put SPREADSHE spreadsheet. And that's what we do. So go to that Google form, fill out your information. We're not going to use it for anything. Your information is just going to sit there, and it's fully public when we're only asking for your channel name and your channel URL and a couple of other things. And that's what we got going. Get in that spreadsheet, and then you'll get more of these, and you can go give people more of these. Pretty simple, eh? Do you like the idea? If you like that idea, if you just like the concept, put a thumbs up icon.
And tell your friends.
Yeah.
You know, the more people sign up for it, the more people that we can support. It's free advertising. It don't cost nobody nothing. You know, I can't think of a better way under the circumstances. I mean, the best way would be if you could hit the 3 buttons and go to their channel. But since Susan, in all of her glory and magnificence, has decided that apparently is a bad idea.
Susan is the CEO of YouTube, for those that don't know.
I'm going to have to go to California and have a sit down with her.
Go to Mountain View, book that ticket.
We'll have a come to Jesus meeting, me and her. I'm taking my personal rocks.
She's hard to get a hold of.
She won't be hard for me to get a hold of.
You got to get past security. I've been inside a Google office building, and it's not an easy feat to gain access.
I've raised teenagers. If I say I'm going to get a hold of you, I'm going to get a hold of you.
Now, Mountain View is easy. That's a whole campus. But they do have office buildings in other cities. And the new template is no external markings of what it is. Google's not on the top of the building. And you go into the lobby, there's no Google it's just, plain looking everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you even go up the elevator, you have a stark white hallway with one door all the way down at the end of the hallway with a camera looking at you, a button, and a speaker. And then you even press that. They're like, can I help you? They didn't even say, welcome to Google. After you open the door, after they let you in that chamber, then it's like the Candyland. Everything's bright, LEDs, there's video games everywhere, foosball tables. Just But until you breach that last barrier, it's all stark and sterile.
Yeah, I get me a big box truck. I put a big banner on the side of it that says, "This is the Google headquarters," and I'll be driving it up and down the street, past their building.
Susan, you'll be on the bullhorn. I know you're in there, Susan.
Come out here and face me.
Quit dropping my views and my watch time.
Stealing my subscribers.
Brenda used to get so bent out of shape that 4 views would go away. Yeah. 4 views.
One will tick me off. Just one. They took one the other day. I thought, well, Matt's probably hearing me.
If 1,000 views equal $1 in AdSense,
I don't care.
You're losing 4 views.
I don't care. It's just the object of the whole thing. You know, we work hard for these. We give up blood, sweat, and tears for these things. And then they just come along, just take them like, you know, they just, oh, they don't need it this bad. Let's just take 1 or 10.
Brenda, I will mail you a quarter, and that should cover 2 years of these 2 views going away, 4 views going away.
It's just the object of the whole thing. They just don't need to be in there dabbling. They just need to keep their dabblers out of my channel. Just stay out of my channel. Poor Matt's still trying to heal up from a couple weeks ago when one of them come over here in my chat before the show, and I said something there in the chat that they didn't like, and they deleted my comment out of my own chat on my own live stream. And then Matt, at that given moment, decides that he's going to come into the StreamYard, and I was having a fit. I said, who did they think they are? Come into my show, and I didn't even say anything wrong. I just didn't like what I said, so they decided that they's going to take it out of there. Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just the idea of the whole thing. If I've done something wrong, I'll be the first to admit that, hey, I did something wrong, shouldn't have done that. Okay. But when I've worked hard for my views, I don't expect them to come into my channel and take my dead burn views. I don't expect them to go deleting all my subscribers. I don't expect them to take all the channels I've subscribed to away till I have to go back and subscribe to everybody all over again, which they have done.
There is no perfect platform on the internet. It's just not. If
they would just stay out of it, provide the platform and leave us alone.
People think these things are so sophisticated, and so if you actually get to know what's happening behind the scenes and the teams that take, it's very ill put together. These platforms are held together with rubber bands and bubble gum.
They need less teams. We need to downsize the teams. They need to just put me in charge. I'll tell you what. Susan can come out here and try to do what I do. And I'll go over there and I'll do what she does. And I guarantee I'll be doing a better job at what she does than what she'll do about what I'm doing.
Oh, my.
I guarantee it.
Dave Hart knows what's up. He says, you can ask Susan when she's at Matt's for Sunday dinner. Oh, oh, where's my rim shot? Let me get it. There it is. And then Scarlett QM is here. Hi, Scarlett. We're about to do a giveaway.
Jim Bashir says that he's got news for me, that it's their channel and I'm just squatting in it. Well, if we weren't here, if all of the people that had channels on YouTube went away, what would they have? A bunch of teams that don't know what the hell they're doing. That's exactly what they'd have.
If you were gone from YouTube, they would have one less than 2 billion users.
No, I'm just saying if everybody left.
Yeah.
If everybody just left the platform.
Brenda for YouTube president, says Jim Bashir.
There we go. See, now they're thinking.
Just convince the shareholders.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I should stage a coup.
I have a few shares of Google. You know, send in the super chats for Brenda to buy more stock in Google so she can do a forced 51% takeover of the board.
Yeah. Not more stock, some. Because she ain't got any. You're trying to make it sound like I got something that I ain't got.
I have a few shares of Google.
Now,
It's good.
I hit that big Powerball, then things may change a little bit. I bet I could get a meeting with her if I hit that.
She's already a millionaire herself. And I mean, hey, you never say never. Never say never.
I mean, money talks.
Money does talk.
I bet if I hit that Powerball, she'd come around my way of thinking. If that don't work, I'll hit her with a pocketbook full of rocks.
I figure you would have multiple game plans.
Yep.
To get what you want. You see what happened to MySpace when they cheesed off Brenda, says Dave Hart.
That's right. That's right.
MySpace went down the tubes.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's do a giveaway. What do you think? Well, you want to give a spiel?
I'll give the spiel. All right. This is the time of the show where you want to make sure you're fast forwarded the whole way. If you're behind time, drag that playhead all the way to the right, because we're going to all do something at the same time and you don't want to be late. Brenda's going to say go. And after she says go, you're going to put a number in the chat. The number will correspond to the number she wrote down on a piece of paper and has hidden under her desk. If your number matches the number she wrote on the piece of paper, you will win one of 4 prizes that we'll tell you what the prizes are after we announce the winner. And she'll mail that anywhere in the lower 48 states. If you're outside the lower 48, you can pay for shipping. Or if you don't want to pay for shipping and you're outside the 48 states, you can re-gift it to someone in the chat. So everyone can play along. When she writes down the number, she will write the number as words with letters. She won't do the numerals. And she's going to go ape crap crazy on the capitalization, because she knows it drives me nuts, because I built a career in the publishing industry and you never miscapitalize words. So you'll have a second chance to win for a bonus prize, and you would guess the number of capital letters. So the vernacular would be, you put a number in the chat, put a slash mark, and then you put another number for the number of capital letters. She'll tell you what the number range is going to be. She's going to say, pick a number between this and that. And then you put that in. You only guess once. You don't rapid fire guess. You only get one chance. So what are the numbers that they need to pick from, Brenda?
The numbers will be between the number 4 and the number 13.
Don't do it yet. Wait till she says go, and only guess once. 4 and 13. All right, when you're ready, Brenda.
Go.
Okay, pick a number between 4 and 13. Put a slash after the number and pick another number for how many capital letters she thinks she used when she wrote out the word. And I think there was a pretty big delay. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the show started like 5 seconds after it actually went live on our dashboard that we see as hosts. But anyway. Okay, numbers are rolling in. Guess a number between 4 and 13. Put it in the chat.
No winner yet. Come on.
Yet. Come on, baby.
Lord have mercy. I see 9 is in the chat. We've only got 3 people guessing.
Yeah, well, I think we might be behind time. Some might be behind time. Like I said, I think the stream started a little later for some. Let me see how far behind time we are. Yeah, we might be 45 seconds behind time. So pick a number between 4 and 13. I'll make a guess. I don't usually guess, but I'll make a guess this time. Am I allowed to play, Brenda?
Sure. You don't know the answer.
Oh, Jim Bashir's won so much, he's waiting to give other people a chance. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we've got all of our people who are guessing. Want to go another round?
We'll go another round. Go.
So don't choose 11, 7, 9, or 4. Guess again. Round 2. Put one more guess in the chat. Okay, more guesses are coming in. There's someone you chose the same number twice. See, this is why you got to be. I think it started differently. Shall we go again?
Are we narrowing it down? It's not 11. It's not 7. It's not 9. It's not 4. It's not 5, and it's not 12.
All right, let's go one more time.
Go. Good Lord, I didn't think I picked that number that was that hard.
It would be. This is like Sudoku. Yeah. I'll make a guess.
Just about every number has been picked. Just about.
Three's too low. It's between 4. Right? Between 4 and 13.
I guess you win.
Did I win?
Yep.
Oh, sweet.
But you didn't put in for any bonus.
Well, let me make I'll make a bonus guess here.
All right.
I'll say, for the first time ever, I'm going to say 2.
You're wrong.
Okay. TEN. Okay. Well, that's the first time I think we've ever had one capital letter. See, you're making it impossible. Matt rigged. See, I knew they'd give me flack for that.
Well, how could it be rigged when he picked the only number that nobody had picked yet? Y'all had your chances. All right, let's see. What have I got up here? Well, I've got.
If someone in the chat want to take the gift instead of me, you can volunteer. I'll gift it away. Let's see what the prizes are.
Okay. We've got the Dragon Eye pendant. There's the Dragon Eye pendant. We've got your choice on the bracelets. I've got a smaller one that's a little lighter color, and I got a bigger one. So depending on what size wrist you got, if you need a smaller one or a bigger one, I've got choice out on those. I've got, if you got a little dog or a cat, I've got this fancy bowl, and this bottom part comes out and swings around. It's got a little metal bowl in it. It's got the water thing up on top of it. You put the water in there, and it's easy to keep clean. So I got the fancy dog cat dish. That's what I'm calling it. It's a dog cat dish. And now I've got another little box that I decorated. This one is wooden. And I painted it. And I put these little hand poured medallions that I cut out on my little box. And it's empty on the inside, but there's the inside of it. Painted the inside. So I've got the fancy little box. So there's the 4 items for this week.
Well, that's tough to pick from. I'll take the pendant, the Dragon Eye pendant.
Okay, so you take the dragon pendant. All right. And I'll put your name on that.
And Dave Hart's saying only Matt does the metric system. No, I'm imperial all the way, baby. I know my halves and quarters and eighths and 15/16.
All right. So those 2 items,
23,
yours and
seconds.
Skywalker's, will go to the post office tomorrow when I go to the eye doctor.
Sweet. I'm
Thank
getting
y'all
ready
for
to
playing.
I'm getting ready to mail a few people, so maybe I can drop some more of these in my
Okay.
packages.
All right. I got a stack of those over here. I'll put some in with your pendant.
I got a sticker from a company.
Carolina, built for work.
These are boots, and bought myself some boots because I won Jimmy DeResta made these license plates that he has one of those, what do they call the stamp injection mold,
Mm-hmm.
and he injection molded these license plates. And Carolina says, if you want one, give us your name and email and get on the email list, and we're going to give a whole crap ton of them away. And they gave, and I was on the list to get one. Maybe they gave one to everyone because, it's just, it's a cool license plate, but I mean, how expensive is it to just do a piece of plastic? And they gave me a coupon for 50% off.
Wow.
And it said this coupon expires December 31st, 2020. I'm like, oh, well, it's expired. But I put the code in and it worked. So I got a pair of shoes. Actually, they're work shoes, but they have a aluminum toe, like a metal, but it's not iron, it's aluminum.
Yeah.
And so I got these really nice, they look like sneakers, but they're rugged to stand up, and they have the safety protection. So I'm looking forward to that. So they sent me a sticker. I thought that was nice. Carolina. # not sponsored.
If I had any friends named Carolina, I'd like to have some of them stickers because I'd see if I couldn't get them put across the back of her britches.
Frenzy Wicked Truth is here. Hi.
Good to see you. Welcome to the crazy house.
Yeah. Going nuts here. They used to make license plates in prison, so it makes him feel at home doing it. Oh, come on. It's a cool plate. It's the license plate is DeResta, his last name. Mm-hmm. And it says, instead of the state up at the top real small, it says Carolina shoe or something like that. And it's cool. I have it hanging up in my workshop. It's neat.
Yeah,
I enter all these contests.
I like the license plates I got on my Beetle. BTL and an underline and JUIC.
Beetlejuice. Yeah. Now, see, I thought I was so cool as an 18-year-old kid in high school. I had access to the drill press in the metalworking shop, and I had someone cut me down a piece of aluminum the size of a license plate, and I drilled the holes in it, and then I got the lettering, lettering like this. Mm-hmm. And you know what it said? It said 3M space TA3, and I put it on the front of my car. And if you see that in the mirror, it says "Eat me." And I got the idea off of an album cover, the Beastie Boys album cover, "Licensed to Ill." They had a plane, and the number on the tail of the plane was 3M space TA3. I just thought that was so cool. I thought I was like, I don't know what I thought I was, but I thought that was cool.
Now, when I had my old ambulance, the plates that I had on it were the what do you call them? Novelty plates, or I don't know. They got a special word for them, but anyway, I had them make me up plates that said "I squeak."
You squeak on an ambulance.
On my old ambulance.
Okay. I don't think I've totally followed that one. Frenzy Wicked Truth.
It was an old ambulance. It would squeak.
Well, gotcha. Frenzy Wicked Truth says, "I've been trying to catch you, Brenda. So we're glad you're here."
I am not hard to catch.
Well, other people's schedules could be.
But now, once you catch me, it might be hard to let go.
Brenda sucks you in. Doesn't
That's
let
right.
you.
Vanity plates, yes. Dave Hart had it. Vanity plates. That's what they
Isn't
call
that what
it.
you said?
No, novelty plates.
Oh,
That's what I call them. Vanity plates.
Now, my father bought me a vanity plate shortly after I learned how to drive. But of course, it comes addressed to me because the car was in. And so I opened this thing. I'm like, what is this? He goes, oh, that's supposed to be your birthday present. And I've had the same plate ever. Now, they have to give you new ones every now and then because the state changes color. But as far as what's in it, that was all the way when I was 17 years old when I started driving. Yeah. It says artist. My license plate says artist, but it has a number 2 at the end of it. And I always thought of that as TOO. I'm an artist too. I'm many things, and I'm an artist. Anyway, that's my license plate. You ever see a Pennsylvania license plate that says artist too? Give a honk, because that's me.
Shoot, I'll just lock bumpers with you.
Beetlejuice and artist too. Rolling down the road.
I'll save gas that way.
Oh, nice. Dave Hart has a badass license plate. His vanity plate says EVEL, as in Evil Knievel, on the motorcycle. I love it, on his Harley. Yes. Dave,
I need one of them for my rump.
Yeah, all the girls that have like juicy on their butt. No, not Brenda. Evil.
I try to warn people every way I know how. I mean, I've even got that emblem put on the back of the Beetle that says it's a redneck edition. You know, I try to let people know ahead of time. It's at their own risk.
Oh, Frenzy Wicked Truth has an odd comment. She says, ever replace a wall outlet and when taken out, the old one totally fell apart in your hand? Well, no. I guess you were due for another wall outlet if that happened.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good.
Yeah, I have been working on rewiring things and had whatever the wire was that I was trying to work with basically disintegrate because they had not used the proper wire.
Oh, no.
You know, they used like an old extension cord instead of using proper wiring. I have had that happen. And that goes on a lot of old houses.
Yeah, electricity is nothing to play games with. The previous owner tried to do all kinds of electrical stuff. And, you know, you can put things in the outlet and those lights will tell you if it's done right. Because they'll still work, but they might not be wired right. Just because it's working doesn't mean it's wired right.
All it takes is a spark.
And they were going to put more outlets in the attic above the garage. And there was just like a wire spooled up with tape mounted to one of the 2x4s. And he put the little pen to it and it lit up. He says, that's a live wire. You bump into that, you'll die. I'm like, so he put it in a box and closed it up and just okay. So I had electricians just from top to bottom, left to right, fix all the, and it's not hard to fix. You just gotta do something here or do something there, and then it's all up to code. So.
Well, see, that's pretty much what happened with my garage last year when we was working on the garage, because we thought all it needed was just a new line run from the power at the house out to the garage. So that's what we did. But then once we got it wired into the garage, we found that there was other problems. And so then comes the new breaker box and the new breakers, and then comes the new wiring to the outlets and new outlets. And so we actually went in reverse of what should have happened out there. But, we tried to think that everything was set up the way it was supposed to be. But in hindsight, after we realized what all we had to do, It was, well, we should have known better than this by just taking a look at the building itself, knowing that it was never supposed to be a garage. It was probably a horse barn back in the day where they had a horse and a buggy at one time, because there's no 2x4s. It's all hand-hewn timber on the inside of it. And, you know, when electric came along, they just strung up whatever they thought they could get away with. But you don't think about that in the very beginning, you know, in the beginning of this. Well, we know there's a bad line that goes out to the garage. We'll just put in a new line. And then you do that and you're like, well, we still have problems here. We're going to have to do something different. And so about $1,000 later.
Jim's got to run. It's dinner time. Thanks for hanging out, Jim.
Thanks for coming.
I don't think we'll be here much longer. We're getting ready to.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
But,
don't eat anything I wouldn't eat.
So that's the thing with these projects. They start uncovering other things that need, and it spirals out of control. There was for a long time we were doing this to the house, like the fans in the bathroom, the ceiling fans that take out the moisture. They emptied into the attic. They didn't go to the exterior of the house. So we didn't have to, but I'm like, I'm not putting moisture anywhere it doesn't need to be. Yeah. So we got that all done. And then the dryer vent, they crushed the dryer vent to get it between the floor joist and the hole. So it was only like half. It constricted down to about, I'm like, oh my gosh, everything.
I'll tell you a dryer vent story.
Oh boy.
Back when I was in a ham radio club, we had this couple that was in the club and they had a bunch of kids and they lived in I called it a tiny house. It was 3-bedroom, but they were little tiny bedrooms. You know, I was called the salt box house because it was square, you know, with little tiny bedrooms in it and all. And they didn't have a whole lot of money, so they tried to make do with what they had. But, you know, there come time when things would fail and you just have to get something new. Well, she told her husband, she says, we got to get a new dryer. They had 4 kids. And so 6 people in the house that she's doing laundry for constantly. And she says, you know, we haven't had a new dryer in years and years and years and years. And she said, we're going to have a new dryer. So he gave in and said, okay, well, go ahead, you know, and get the new dryer. So she ordered the new dryer and it was delivered. And they took out the old dryer, put in the new dryer, plugged it in, put the vent thing on it. And so she throws a load of laundry in the washing machine and he comes home from work and she says, hey, I've got to run up to the store and get a few things. When the washer shuts off, put that stuff over in the dryer. By the time I get back, it ought to be ready to fold. So she goes off to the store. He gets the stuff out of the washing machine, gets it in the dryer. About 30 minutes later, he goes to check on it. Stuff is still just as wet as when he put it in the dryer. He's like, well, this ain't right. What's going on here? And so he sets it again, you know, and gives it a little more time. And he goes back 15 minutes later. It's still wet. And so then he gets the manual out because, you know, it's still laying there where they had delivered the thing that day. So he gets the manual out and he's reading up on the manual on this thing. And everything seems to be checking out on it. So he calls the number, the 800 number for the place that they made it, the manufacturer. And he's talking to their tech and he's telling their tech what it's doing. And so their tech is like, well, you know, obviously it's running. It must be plugged in. Yeah, you know, and they're going through all the obvious stuff. And then, so the tech finally says, have you checked the vent to see if there's anything stuffed in the vent, something plugging it up? He said, well, no, I haven't checked that. And he says, well, do that. I'll wait. So he goes outside to the vent. There is a towel shoved in the dryer vent. And he's thinking, one of them kids has shoved a towel in this dryer vent. And so he goes back in the house. He's feeling like an idiot. And he you know, picks up the phone. He tells the guy, well, I think I found the problem. There was a towel stuffed in the dryer vent. And one of the kids is probably responsible for that. When they get home, we'll be having a discussion about this. Don't think we won't. And he went ahead and he got the clothes dry. She comes home with the kids. And he sets the kids down at the table and starts in on them about, okay, I want to know right now who's responsible for shoving the towel in that dryer vent out there. His wife pipes up. She says, now, wait a minute. Before you go blaming the kids, me and you need to have a talk, because I'm the one that put the towel in the dryer vent. And he says, you put a towel in the dryer vent. Why would you do such a thing? And she says, well, because of the squirrels. She says the squirrels keep gnawing holes in the house and getting up in the attic and chewing through the walls and everything else here. She says, and that's just a hole. I went out and I filled in all the holes on the outside of the house to keep the squirrels out. I stuffed a towel in there to keep the squirrels out.
Well, can't move the air if you clogged it all up.
So the dryer she got rid of was still a perfectly good dryer.
Oh.
It just wasn't working because she shoved a towel in the vent.
Well, you know, my dryer vent has these louvers on it, but when the air blows out, the louvers, you know, they're real light. But when there's no air blowing, they flop down and the animals can't get in. Easy peasy.
Well, they definitely had a squirrel problem over there. The squirrels would come in on the electric wires, you know, that run from the light pole over to the house and get up on the roof, and then they get down to the soffit underneath the, you know, right underneath the edge of the roof and chew holes in that soffit. And then they would get in the walls and have babies in there.
Oh, geez.
And she told the story about one day they had some people over for dinner, and they sitting around the table and they hear this scratching sound at the wall right there beside the kitchen table. And they finally thought, well, okay, we got to figure out what's going on with this. They finished their meal. They get the table cleared, move the table over, and went and got a saw and a hammer and some stuff and go to work on the wall. Open it up, and there's a squirrel in there with babies right there at the kitchen table.
I see Frenzy Wicked Truth has the right idea. She's talking about how she would have had the toolbox and she would have ripped it apart. She would have found the problem. Like, she would have attacked it that way. I repaired our washer. It started leaking, and you could buy a part to replace it. But the problem is they specifically engineered the whole device that you had to do a complete tear down, 47-step process to get to this part. And you had to take a screwdriver and hammer apart, and you had to break. You had to snap like basically a metal ring, because there was no way to back it out, apparently. I forget exactly the way it was engineered, but they do it on purpose to make you just buy a whole new one. And I was like, you know what? No. I'm like, the part was like $30 that I needed to replace. I'm like, for $30, I'm going to try and fix this myself. And if I fail, I'm going to have an equally non-functioning, it's either going to work or I'm going to waste $30. So I spent a Sunday tearing this thing apart. I have a 30-foot long porch that I put all these dryer parts, just lined them all up. And sure enough, I was watching a YouTube video tell you how to do it. And I got that thing working, and it ran for a couple more years. And then we bought new appliances just because, well, we should get them because we won them. Like, we didn't even have to. I guess it was, the high efficiency. They have high efficiency detergent. We were having trouble finding the non-high efficiency detergent. So like, okay, well, we got perfectly working hardware here. We're having trouble finding the detergent anyway. So, but sure enough, I tore that sucker apart, and I was banging that thing. I was trying to split that metal retainer ring or whatever it was that wouldn't come off, because you had to. It said to do it in the.
Yeah, I use my appliances until they just quit. Until it's I even have the repair people come out until they tell me, hey, this has gone beyond. You're gonna have to get new appliances.
Yeah, Jim Dockrell's talking about right to repair. That's big. That's a big issue now. But yeah, so now it's even worse. They purposely it's like, say you get like a range, like the stove, and your clock goes out. Well, you can buy a new part for that clock, but that part is going to cost as much as the whole appliance.
Yeah.
And it's completely legal for them to do that. Oh, well, you might as well just buy a whole. My treadmill, I accidentally put a wet blanket over my treadmill, and it dripped into the electronics, and it wasn't working. So I went to the website to order a replacement, electronics kit to put into it, and it was as much as the treadmill. And I called them, and I had my receipt, and it was out of warranty by like 3 months, but they're like, we're gonna give it to you for free anyway. And they gave it to me for free, and it arrived with no instructions, but it was all there. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna start taking this stuff apart. I'll film it, and if I ever, I'll just roll the tape backwards and just figure out what goes where. And it did work. So now my treadmill's functioning again. And I never put any clothes on this thing ever. Like, I know that's the trope, oh, your exercise equipment, you put, your clean clothes. I only did it one time when I had a big blanket and I didn't want to put it in the dryer or something. I just wanted just to air dry for whatever reason. I'm just going to put it over there. Sure enough.
Nothing with electronics. No. You've been better off to get a couple old chairs and throw it over a couple old chairs.
But sure enough, no, it works. It works like new. Well, I mean, anyway. And I was going to sell that treadmill because no one was ever using it. And I'm like, you know what? Before I sell it, I'm just gonna use it. And I started using it, and then I never stopped using it. I'm like, well, this isn't bad. So now I'm on the treadmill daily. Like, I was getting ready. I had the Craigslist thing all ready to go and go public. And I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to keep it. So so it went like 2 years. No one ever touched it. And then now it's for 3 years.
Well, when I catch the leprechaun and get my house down in Arkansas, there's a room down there that I'm going to kind of turn into, it's a game room, but it's also going to have exercise equipment and stuff in it. And, I'll have a nice treadmill then. I don't really have a place to put one here. My house is so full of stuff the way it is. And I could always get rid of some stuff, I guess, so I'd have a place to put a treadmill, but then I don't really have any money to buy a treadmill with. So I'll just wait until I catch that leprechaun and,
I recommend don't get anyone with any bells and whistles, because I got one with a lot of features, and I'm like, I just go manual every time. You can pay a monthly fee and you can download different experiences to like go through England and Paris, and it changes the elevation as you're going up the mountain, and I'm like, no, I set that sucker to 7-degree incline and I just go. I'm like, this is stupid. I'm like, I'm not. And it's got the internet built into it, but of course it uses the Android operating system, which is free, and it's real slow. I'm like, what you're supposed to do is just put your iPad in front of it and use a real piece of computing equipment rather than use its clunky little browser. Like, you press a button and it waits and then it loads.
Well, I figure before I invest in a piece of equipment like that, I need to get to the point where I can walk across the house without losing my breath.
Yeah.
and I'm getting better.
Thanks for stopping by. We're shutting her down here too, but thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, it's good to see you. But yeah, I'm losing the weight is helping, but I've still got a long way to go. And I figure as the weather warms up, that's going to help, because it's just too cold. I'm not going out and freezing my garbanzos off out there and trying to walk, and it is cold and windy and rainy and everything else. Give myself pneumonia. When the weather warms up some, I can get out and I can walk a little bit. And if nothing else, just walk around the church, go out the back door, come in the front, or vice versa, and start training myself to walk a little bit. But when you can't walk across the house without losing your breath.
We got to get you back in shape. Got to fix all your ailments.
See, this all started 17 years ago when I started my job in research. And I would sit for 12 to 18 hours a day, whether it was at a desk or in the car. My walking was getting from the car into the courthouse, from the courthouse back to the car. And so for 12 to 18 hours a day, that's all I did. And when I got home, I went to bed because I was tired. And when you do that for 11 and a half years, by the time you get out of that job, you are so out of shape and overweight because, every bit of food that you eat just, turns into fat. And then, once I retired, it was, well, okay, I got this to do and that to do and this to do and that to do. And none of that had anything to do with losing weight and trying to get myself back together. And I don't know, I just here right there around Christmas time when I got sick, it was kind of an epiphany. It was like, what are you doing to yourself? You are a grown adult. You're able to make choices. And why aren't you making choices that are better for your health than what you're doing? It's no wonder you're sick. And so I just decided right then, okay, we're going to start making healthier choices. We're going to stop eating out of a big trough, and we're going to start eating out of a regular plate. And we're going to cut back on all the sugar has to go. And, instead of eating this thing, we can eat this thing that's healthier and see if some weight comes off. Let's just see what happens. And the next thing I knew, I was down like 35 pounds. I'm like, well, okay, that's heading the right direction. Then I was down 50 pounds. Now I'm retaining water right now because of those drops that I was taking for my eyes had steroids in them. And steroids makes me retain water like nobody's business. Plus, steroids also increases your appetite. And while I'm trying to make healthier choices, when you're hungry all the dadburn time, even though you're making healthier choices, but you're still putting an awful lot of food in the body. So now that I'm off of those, I don't know what he's got planned, fresh hell he'll have for me tomorrow. But I know that, it's not going to be them steroids anymore. We're going to go a different direction. And hopefully in a couple of weeks, then things will calm back down again and I can start concentrating on losing some more weight and get myself on back. But yeah, there just comes a time where you have to say, hey, what are you doing to yourself? Isn't it time to start taking care of yourself instead of taking care of everybody else for a change, and let's look out for you. Because I have been sick the biggest part of the past year with one thing or another, whether it was kidney stones or gallstones or, liver issues or, upset stomach, or I had that psoriasis attack and was about to peel my skin off my body and everything else. And I'm like, okay, this has got to end, You
had that poison sumac smoke.
Yeah, well, yeah, we had that go on. And if it wasn't that, then it was the issue with the van and trying to deal with the van and the car and, all that mess that was going on and the wiring for the garage. And I'm like, okay, this insanity's got to stop. I got to start taking care of me.
It needs to be over.
Yeah. Yeah. Stop the insanity.
Period and move on.
Oh, my goodness. Well, listen, I think we probably kept these people on here long enough tonight, but I thank everybody for coming. I love y'all. Bless your hearts. And we'll be back here next week, Lord willing, the creeks don't rise. And we'll have another giveaway and, see what happens. Between now and then, we've got the first day of spring. That's coming up on Sunday. Hopefully the weather's better than it was today here.
Yeah.
I've got birds chirping out here like you would not believe. They wake me up in the morning just raising all kinds of hell. They think it's spring. So I hope they tell Mother Nature about it so that she gets in sync with them. Right. Oh. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming, and y'all have a good week. Matt will be doing his All Things YouTube on Monday. I'll be on Simply Wooden Creations Saturday night if he has a show. I think he's having a show. And so I'll be over there on the panel at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And Matt's at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube. And then we'll be back here next Thursday night and do something, even if it's wrong. Night, everybody.
Good night.